All right, guys, today is day one working on the flatbed. So what I'm looking at doing is getting some tubing cut that basically is going to be the width inside the tires here, probably about an inch side of the wheels. I think that came out to like 57 inches, something like that. I got it all wrote down and measured this the other day. But I'm going to go ahead and get some tubing cut, see if I can get a frame built, and then we will start working on getting some pieces going across here as well, and here, so I can use the original bolt downs. And I'm going to try to drill these in and use like the I'm not really sure what they're called, but they're basically the nuts that you can shove up through a hole. Then when you tighten them down, it squeezes them in. They're like a pinch nut or something like that. So that's what I'm going to try to use, and then I should be able to bolt through the original holes. It's kind of the plan. But right now, I want to get the main portion of the flatbed, the tubing part of it here in the center built. Basically, that's going to come out even here with the back. And then we'll put the wings and figure out how I want to do all of that and do this back section. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to start. I believe everything is going to clear. Initially, I thought maybe I had some high spots, but I think all this is going to set under that tubing once I've kind of set it up here on the frame. So I'm going to get the tape measure out and make sure I got my measurements, exactly where they need to be, kind of pencil it all out, and start cutting the four, basically to make a rectangle and get that welded. All right, guys, I've got the tubing cut here. Basically, I'm going to end up doing this 76 inches, the long piece here, and then we got 57 inches wide. I'm going to weld this together, basically make a rectangle, and then we're going to go in on this 76 inch piece, and we're going to cut some 53s and put in the middle. That will line up with these stock mounting places. So we'll kind of measure those out, get those tacked in. And like I said, hopefully I can set it up there, clamp it down, and use a center punch, or maybe even drill them on here and get my holes marked one way or another. So we'll kind of see. I may be able to measure them out. I'm not real sure how exactly I'm going to do that yet. We'll see whenever I get these all put together. But it took it a little longer. I forgot my ground on my welder had messed up the last time I was using it. So I got that fixed. And yeah, getting ready to set the camera up, get these welded. So, a couple good tacks on it. Happy with that. Wish my concrete floor was just a little bit smoother, but this will work. So, going to slide this one over. Actually, I may just try to see if I got the room here. Maybe. Go ahead, tack this other corner here. Again, just wanting to tack this. Same thing, gonna tack this one. That's why it's acting goofy too. Wonder why it acted like it kept trying to keep going. Spot timer was on. Okay. So, one more corner. We'll flip it over. This is the last corner to tack here. So. All right. So. We got the rectangular built here. I'm gonna flip it over real quick, tack the other side, kind of the same thing. I don't wanna get too crazy welding this all up until I get my, make sure this is gonna be square and everything fits right before I get too crazy. So let me flip this over and I'm gonna tack the other side, be the same thing. So pretty self-explanatory, but we'll get it flipped over and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do next. All right, guys, my camera's about to die, but want to go ahead and show you what I got done so far. I'm probably gonna get the back piece here welded in as well tonight. This one across here, but this gives you guys kind of an idea of what the base is gonna look like. Setting up here on the truck. Again, I gotta put this last cross member in right here, and then I'll also do one in front of that as well and try to use those original anchors. And then I'll probably throw another one in somewhere in the mid area, or kind of measure out and see where I need to have this all supported. But anyway, that's kind of gives you the idea of the base portion of it. So yeah, when I get this finished up, I'll cut back. All right, guys, I think this is where I'm gonna stop for tonight. Pretty much got my base, I guess, ready to go. I've got the two spots in the front here where it's going to anchor. Again, I'm going to measure up on the frame over here from this point to this point and weld another in. Honestly, whatever this distance is, if that's a foot, I'll probably stick another one, maybe split this distance from right here over the top of the gas tank. Just get behind there from here between here. So, and then put one here in the middle is kind of what I think I'm going to do. Again, I think that'll look pretty decent. Shouldn't hit anything. I may have to straddle this exhaust a little bit. I think that's might be above the frame. I can't really tell. It's really, really close. So I may straddle it, maybe go right about in here and here or something like that. But we'll see where that all falls. Yeah, I think that's going to be the basis for the main portion, and then again I will build my angles off of this. So basically what I'm getting at is you're going to have some pieces kind of like this along the outer edge that'll go up over the fender, probably about a foot, and then that'll also maybe help keep stuff in the center of the bed. And then the back we will come off the edge and kind of angle it so it's not so flat across the back of the bed. We'll angle that a little bit. Again, that's all going to be flat there and down just to the hitch, so it's not going to be crazy. Again, I'm not a big fan of just those big square bulky backs, so I think you're talking 57 inches or so by a foot is all you're going to have, and that's where will be plenty to put my license plate, tail lights, all that in, and then we'll angle that corner out here to get over the tire and then back up to the cab. And those lines should come out really close to that upper body mount or body line is kind of the hope. Kind of have it angle something like this. Might be just a little higher, or actually, sorry, it's going to end up even with that fender up there on the front. So, but yeah, we'll see. I think it'll all look good. Again, this bed liner turned out decent. Yeah, just the texture in it, you get kind of some spots like it had like a black pigment in it or something. I don't know, but we'll see what it looks like as it continues. Like today's only, I think we're probably just now, we're a little past 24 hours, probably 28 hours since I applied it. So, but it don't look too bad. Definitely looks better than what it did originally. So anyway, I think I'm going to end the video here for today, and we will cut back when I start back on this in the next day or so. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, it's the next night. Got this set back up here on the truck, and kind of got everything lined up here. You guys can see here's where those back holes are. Got that pretty well dead center distance here. So, and then I've got this centered as well from here to here. So this is basically the flatbed. You guys can see the distance I have there between the tires. I'm happy with that. Pretty good clearance on either side, and that'll give me, like I said, I'm gonna keep the back here. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna keep the back. I'm gonna bring this off at an angle out to basically kind of the edge of the truck up there. So I'm gonna follow the bed line of the actual truck itself. So the tire will actually stick out still a little bit, and I want to angle this probably, I don't know, we're looking at probably something about like that out, and then we'll taper that upward here and run that along the top to here, and then those will angle back down into the sides here. That makes sense. And then coming off of this piece here, we'll have a bar going all the way over, and then I will build the headache rack probably somewhere in here. It's probably going to be the height of the edge of the bed, roughly. So it'll be about waist high, which is about perfect. Make it easier getting stuff on and off the truck. I'll have plenty of clearance here for the tires to come up if need be. We won't have to worry about those. And then yeah, just make kind of a cleaner look, and it'll still have a good flat bottom here for if I go get plywood or any 4x8 sheets of anything like that. Again, this is going to be 57 inches to edge, and then you've got 80 inches long, so you're going to be shy of a full 8-foot board, but you're not talking a whole lot here hanging off the back, which again, this originally had a 6'6" bed roughly, so you're pretty much basically almost the same. I mean, I'm gaining what, 4 inches on this, so you're not talking a whole lot difference. And again, biggest thing for me is keeping the bottom portion of this bed at least right. Like I said, I can throw a sheet of plywood or something in the back and still make it usable. The other thing I like about having the edges up, it kind of secures stuff a little better. I will put some spots in for some tie downs up in the corners. I may try to weld in like 3 different D-rings in the side that'll fall down. That way I can still strap stuff down into the bed, coolers, tubes, different things like that. I did set this up here so I'd make sure I had clearance over the top of my fuel tank, and it just barely clears, so that's awesome. It's perfect. I think actually the old bed, I think might have set right on top of that a little bit, kind of rubbed, but nothing too crazy. So that frame, everything will fit across nicely. I'm gonna have one here. This is the center line. This one here will be between here and here, center and center. So again, that's not perfect as far as these being spaced, but gives you roughly 16 inches between this one, a little less between these, but it gets my lines where I need them to be to clear like the fuel tank, clear the exhaust hanger there, clear the shocks, stuff like that, kind of get me in some clear open areas. And then I'm going to go ahead and put one up here. I just felt like this was a little bit too wide to not have something. And then if I truly needed to, I can always anchor here if I need to. I can build some tubing or something off of that if I feel the need when I get this kind of finalized. So yeah, it's kind of where it's at. I'm getting ready to cut these 4 pieces of tubing. I'll get those tacked in. And then basically at that point, I can mark all my holes in here and get those drilled out. And like I said, what I'd like to do, drill those out and put in the pinch nuts, I think so. I'm not real sure what they're called exactly, but basically you drill a hole, you put them in, you tighten the bolt down, and they squeeze down in your material. That's what I think I'm going to do. I think that'll be the easiest way, and then I can just run bolts up through the bottom and secure everything. Again, I may do it differently. Hell, part of me thought about even drilling a bigger hole here, drilling a hole through the bottom, and just dropping bolts through, and then putting nuts on the bottom side, which could possibly will be what I do. I'm not real sure yet. We'll kind of see when I get to that point. I'm too worried. I think clamping this down or getting this bolted down is going to be pretty easy now with where things are lined up. The other thing I got to do while I got this off, there will also be a video on that. I'm going to build my brackets here for my airbags. I want to get those put on here because every once in a while, like putting the camper on stuff, it's nice to keep this thing leveled out and not have it squatting in the back. Again, it is just a 1500. So getting some of that done. And then I'm still debating on what I want to do with the bed liner. I'm not crazy about how patchy it's looking. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not real sure. I'm kind of just letting that be for right now. But yeah, it's where it's at right now. I'm going to get to cutting these, and yeah, I'll be back here in just a minute. All right, guys, so I got these cross pieces cut. I'm just kind of setting up there right now. I got to grind them down just a tiny bit, make them fit. I just like them tight so you don't have huge gaps when you're welding these. So I'm trying to keep it really, really close so you don't have those. I mean, you guys can see, trying to keep them as close as possible. So take a flap wheel and just take off a little bit until I get them to slip in just perfect. Don't want to beat them in. Then you cause things to get out of square and push out in places. So don't ever force things in. Just take a flap disc or a grinding wheel and yeah, just trim off that little bit. I mean, you guys can see how much we're talking there. I mean, you're not talking a whole lot from getting that to fall down in there. So grind them down just a little bit, let them just fall in, but keep them nice and clean. It'll make your welding process so much easier when you've got them smooth like that. The other thing it does, it helps also with getting these level, so you don't end up, you know, if the things off, or it just makes things way easier, guys. So get them as close as you can. Again, don't force them in, like that right there. Don't beat it in. It will go, but you're going to cause problems in other places. So just smooth them out a little bit, get them to drop in. Still got one more down there that's cut. So got to get it set up there. I'm going to try to get these all tacked in tonight. I'm going to pull this back off. I don't know how much of this I'm going to show. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm basically just tacking these in. So to be honest, I'm probably going to just cut back tomorrow. I'm going to, I think, run out of time today. I've got some meetings I got to go to, so for the kids. So we'll get this probably off the truck in the shop, tacked up tonight, and then back on it hopefully tomorrow. Weather's supposed to be nice. And I'll probably, to be honest, while I've got it in there, I'm probably going to go ahead and weld all of this base in solid and have it completely welded all the way around. And then I'm going to start working on figuring out kind of where I want these edges, how long they need to be, and then getting this stuff in here figured out, get that all built up and tacked in. That's going to take just a minute, probably more trial and error, and to be honest, getting some angles and different things that I think look nice. We'll get that done, and then the next process will be putting the sheeting on all of this and figuring out how I want to do this back again. Really plan only to go to the top of this hitch. So something like that. And cleaning that up, I'll probably, honestly, probably do some light tubing back here. Something similar to, oh, somewhere I got some tubing. Something similar to this, most likely, because I got it around. That I'll probably just build kind of a frame out of this, just to give me something back here to tack everything to and give it a little more structure. I may go heavier. I might go up to some like 3/4 or maybe even some angle iron or something to build the framework out of the back and to kind of support along the bottom of these pieces, because I kind of want to bring that, probably just do this piece, to be honest, out here in sheet metal. I may box it in. I'm not real sure. I'm not crazy about having that all open underneath, but hey, it is what it is. It's a old truck, so we'll kind of see when I get to that point how far I go with kind of plating or boxing in the back of this. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave this for right now, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow.